Hi guys, welcome to my channel. 2023 has just flown by and my physical TBR has absolutely blown up. We need to combat that. So here are 24 books that I want to read in 2024. Primarily, I am a fantasy reader, so the majority of these books are fantasy, but I have a few thrillers, a few general fiction, and a few romance as well. Starting off with young adult fantasy science fiction, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I've been wanting to read this forever, however, I am a purist and I wanted to read Shadow and Bone first. I've read Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and I just have Ruin and Rising left, which I think I'll get to fairly soon, so hopefully I can then get to Six of Crows. I also have Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I read Powerless this year by Lauren Roberts, and I know she said that this is one of her favorite books. I honestly have no idea what it's about, but I expect it to be good. I also just recently picked up These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I actually read maybe a third of this a couple years ago, and I think I just got distracted by other things, so here's giving it a second shot. I never officially DNF'd it, but it was just kind of one of those things where I put it down and I forgot to pick it back up, so hopefully we get to this in 2024. I also have the ever so popular Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I have all 3 books that were gifted to me for Christmas, but again, I'm a purist and I wanted to read Caraval first, so I've read Caraval. I started Legendary and I didn't finish it yet, and then Finale, of course, and then hopefully I can just breeze through those and get to these because I'm very, very excited about reading them. I also have Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I think this was really popular a while ago and then kind of made a resurgence this year. Who knows? That could just be a generalization I'm making and have no idea what I'm talking about. And then my last young adult book that I have, honestly, I don't know what genre this would fall under, but it is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I read the entirety of the Natural series this year. I wanted to pick this up. I got the box set for Christmas, so I have all 3 books. Hopefully I can read at least one, if not all 3, in the coming year. Moving on to general fiction, because they're right in front of me, I think that's going to be one of my goals within the new year, is to read more general fiction, literary fiction. So the first we have is The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. This was super popular maybe 2 years ago, I think. I don't know. The next 2 books are pretty chunky. I have The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I have read The Secret History. I really enjoyed The Secret History. I really think that Donna Tartt is a brilliant, excellent writer. I have a lot of friends who really enjoy this book. It's just that. We'll see how I do on that. In the same vein, I have A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I have not read this book simply because I'm afraid of the pain. That's really all I have to say about it. I have 3 thrillers with me. It has been sitting on my shelf for a while. I'm thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. It's so small and I should just read it, but I heard it's really scary. I also have All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham. I read A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham earlier this year and I really liked it. I let my mom borrow this book because I've owned it for a while and she really enjoyed this one as well. So I think it's just kind of been on my backlist. Whenever I get around feeling like reading a thriller, I'll pick up this one. I haven't had that feeling in a while, so. And on a similar note, I also have The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. My mom raves about this book. She's obsessed with it. I have just a few romances and then we'll dive back into fantasy, but the very first is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I read 30 pages of it. I was tapping it. I put it down because I wanted to read a fantasy book. I actually commented on a TikTok recently of someone doing silent reviews of books, and they were screaming silently about Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. Another very popular romance is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I just want to read the entirety of Emily Henry's backlist. And then the last is towing the line between romance and fantasy, a good romantasy if you will, and it is Never by Jessa Hastings. Bold of me to assume that I would like this if I haven't read Magnolia Parks yet. However, I heard Peter Pan retelling and I ran. Now on to all of my adult fantasy and science fiction. I have a lot of popular options in here and then also some that I haven't heard as much about. So the first I have, of course, is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. The summary is so short that I honestly have no idea what it's about. I know there's kind of a caste system and that's about it. Another intimidating read we have is Babel by R.F. Kuang. It's just big and I've heard it's a little slow, but I've also heard it's a masterpiece. So again, bold of me to assume that I would enjoy Poppy War if I haven't read Babel yet, but I really want to read The Poppy War, also by R.F. Kuang. I've only ever heard good things about this. I'm very excited to eventually get to her. One of my favorite authors, I love cozy fantasy, is TJ Klune, and this is his newest release, In the Lives of Puppets. I am just so excited to pick this up. A book that I know is very popular but also is not very talked about on the internet is The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This is a pretty small book. Is the font small? Yeah, the assassin, destined to save the kingdom, all that good stuff. I don't know. I want to read more like epic fantasy that isn't just romantasy in the coming year. But speaking of romantasy, the last 3 books I have here are all romantasy. The first being House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book in the Crescent City series. The third one comes out in January. I'm reading Kingdom of Ash right now, so I didn't want to start Crescent City before I finished Throne of Glass. And then 2 new releases that are also on my radar. The first is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. This is Cassandra Clare's adult debut. I have not read any of the Shadowhunters, but this cover honestly drew me in. And I saw everyone on the internet talking about it, and I'm very, very excited to read it. And then the last book I think is one of the ones that I'm most excited about, which is The Hurricane Wars by Tia Guanzon. This is again the first book in a new trilogy that's about to come out. It's based in Southeast Asia. It has magic. I know it's a romantasy. I'm just very excited about it, especially since we share a name. She might go by Thea. Who knows? I'm a Southeast Asian Tia, so I'm assuming it's the same. And I believe that about sums it up. Those are 24 books that I want to read in the coming year, not including new releases. There are a lot of new releases I'm excited about. Let me know what you guys want to read in 2024, and I will see you in my next video.